Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome to your #1 source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman. I want to welcome you all in for another great show. Feel like we've got a lot of wonderful information to pass along to you. Some big events coming up out there in Indian country, and we definitely want to cover all that. And going back from last week, as I told you, the Muskogee Creek Nation making that trip, that pilgrimage back to our homelands in the Alabama area, and the Horseshoe Bend National Military Site there, and the 200th commemoration of that battle. Not only will we have the principal chief, he will be giving the speech that day, the day of the March 27th, the 200th anniversary, the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. The principal chief of the Muskogee Creek Nation giving the speech right there at the battlefield site. We'll have that for you here today, and so excited to show you some scenes from the trip and all of the Muskogee Creek contingent that was out there. Over 200 folks of tribal administration, tribal programs and departments, some of our artists, some of our ceremonial folks. So a little bit of everything that the Muskogee Creek Nation now in 2014 still has to offer, and still is very vital. Making that trip to Alabama, can't wait to show you that and see all the scenes and hear the remarks from the principal chief there. Also, we went over to OSU IT, our partners and friends here in the Altmauge community, visited with Dr. Bill Path, the president of OSU IT, talking about Super Saturday and the partnership that they share with the Muskogee Creek Nation and how much it works for the city of Altmauge and the surrounding areas. And also, we had a chance to go to a really, really great event, really special day here in Altmauge as the city and the tribe work together for Autism Awareness Day, lighting it up blue in the city of Altmauge for Autism Awareness Month. So lots of great things to cover, and we'll have it for you right here on Native News Today. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back with the rest.
Momesh Harishongigo Imongin Hobidagi Ani Omaga Bomaha Hoye Imongin Oma Bonchomegigosh. For more information about Muskogee language preservation, please call us at 918-732-7724.
For 3 years, kids have been asking their parents, what is that hill on the river going to be? What answer did you give?
Did you tell them that someday that half-finished structure will be one of America's most important attractions, bringing visitors from around the country and the world to Oklahoma,
along with hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy?
There'll be state-of-the-art interactive displays that bring to life the stories, history, and culture of the 39 tribes that share this state.
A 210-acre landscape park and trail system. Beautiful retail and business space.
This will be another jewel in the crown of our state's tourism industry, and it will pay eternal tribute to the origin of our great state.
It's not a matter of whether we can afford to complete it. We simply can't afford not to. For the current generation of Oklahomans and the generations to come, let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Host Jason Salzman here, and welcoming you back into the program as we get started with our first feature of the day, and definitely want to lead off with the historic monumental trip back to our homelands, the 200th anniversary, the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, the Muskogee Creek Nation taking over 200 elders, artists, ceremonial ground representatives, tribal departments, citizenship, flute makers, just a little bit of everything that this nation has to offer, including our administration, our principal chief, standing there. What an incredible honor for him, and an incredible emotional day for him to stand there on that site and give a speech and talking about we're still here, and how wonderful it is to be able to, from that tragedy, be such a strong nation now, today in 2014. So we definitely wanted to show you this clip and show you the Principal Chief's remarks there at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend on the 200th anniversary.
The song says, there's an appointed land, an appointed place that we're going to. But in the end, we'll be with our Creator. History records that with not only Muskogee Creek people, but all indigenous people of this land had periods of adversity. Through adversity, we gained strength, but as Muskogee people, we overcame these adversities. And you know, a battle may have been lost at this site 200 years ago, but as Muskogee people, we're still here. Yesterday, as I was flying in, I could see, as we were getting ready to land, why our forefathers fought so hard for these lands. And I can see why the non-Indians fought even harder. But you know, as Muskogee people, because of who we are today, the ashes, the fires of our traditional people at our ceremonial grounds is strong as ever. Our churches, where many of our songs that we sing in those tabernacles are sung with pride, and those songs are stronger than ever. It is said that it's Muskogee, whether we come from our ceremonial grounds or our traditional churches, but as one, there's no other nations in this country that can say with pride that we certainly have overcame. It's also stated that as Muskogee people, we're very strong spiritual people. As we're getting ready for our season with our ceremonial grounds, as our churches get ready for their summer season, you see a parallel there that was brought to Oklahoma from our motherlands here. I don't believe that we'll ever lose those. We will never lose the tradition and culture that's been handed down through generations. And as we look back to today, I truly believe that as I stand before you, the spirit of those red sticks stand with me. As I stand before you today, the spirit of those who fought so hard stand with me today. Earlier when that wind blew up, I leaned over to the speaker and I said, "Speaker, their spirits are still here." And landing here yesterday, I could sense that it was going to be emotional. It wasn't too long ago when we held a meeting at one of our ceremonial grounds and we talked about this trip and what the importance was and how we should be coming back to this land to not only honor and pay homage to those that lived here, but to show people that we are still here. And that's what we're doing. It gives me a great deal of pride to see our people being as one. When I see those buses rolling down the highway with that great big seal on each side of those buses, I know that people are taking notice. That at some point in time, when you and I as Indian people weren't supposed to be here, we're showing them we're still here, and we're prospering. We've learned today that as tribal leaders, as leaders of our ceremonial grounds, as leaders of our churches, that if we can depend on the wisdom and the guidance of the Creator, that all things work out. Our old ones used to say, if you will do things and say things from the heart, it's always good. And I see that today. And I believe it was on somebody's heart that we need to do this. 200 years ago, who would have thought that we as Muskogee would be coming back here and not celebrating? The celebration should be that as Muskogee people, we're still here. That we pay homage to those that allows us, those of us that serve in some capacity with our tribal government, to pay homage to them and to thank them, because they set the foundation for us to be where we're at as Muskogee Creek Nation. And I believe that's important. I believe God, our Creator, whether you come from ceremonial grounds or churches, still has a hand on what we do as a nation. Not only Muskogee Creek Nation, but the United States of America as well. Whether this community or communities realizes it or not, but we share a parallel. As Indian people, we don't see land as something that can be bought, can be sold. As Indian people, we see it as something that provides. And as Indian people, we know that we give many acres of lands, millions of acres. I always tease about the fact that all those treaties that were signed, I believe there was invisible ink before there was invisible ink. Because I still see the rivers flowing and the grass being green. But the parallel is, today, you protect this environment. Unfortunately, it took a lot of lives to see the importance of this land. Because as Indian people always knew the importance of land. And I believe that more than ever, where we're at in Oklahoma, we protect our lands and we protect our culture and we protect our language, our tradition. And it's unfortunate that in our homelands, our language is not spoken. We've lost a lot of things because our old ones used to say, when you lose your language, you lose your identity, you lose your culture, you lose your tradition. And we see that here in Alabama. I believe that it's fitting that we have this day today. I don't know if wounds could ever be healed. Only God knows that. Man is not perfect. But as I say in the Muskogee Creek Nation, we strive for perfection, and I think that's with all men. We're not going to always agree, and that's okay. But I believe that today is a good start of knowing where our history lies, where it is. And in the future, as we're making history today, 200 years from now, our following generations, I believe, would say that things are getting better. And I believe that they will. And today is a good start. Moment hayoi, Johoma huidet, Nakokikidra Mijat, Shavaskazit, Mahin was it. Mano Magadanos. I was honored and humbled to stand before you today to tell you and share with you about the Muskogee Creek Nation. And I thank you very much. May the Creator continue to bless our friends and relatives here in Alabama. And may God continue to bless the great Muskogee Creek Nation. Madigas and Madoketches, thank you very much.
And want to thank our great crew once again that went out there from Muskogee Media, Amanda Rutland, Darren DeLon, Kyla McCown, Christina Goodvoice, our manager, and also Jessica McBride doing a fantastic job bringing all that footage back, and really a life-changing event for all the folks that were part of that trip. We're glad they're home safely now. Moving on, here in the community of Okmulgee, you know, we have so many multi-employers, have many different companies that have a big-time employee base, and that's whenever you have a unique situation like that, they get to work together for the betterment of the community. And a great example of that is OSU IT here in Okmulgee and the Muskogee Creek Nation working together. You know, OSU IT has almost been a surrogate for the College of the Muskogee Nation, getting their accreditation and moving forward. So a big partnership there, and they've got a huge event coming up, Super Saturday, showcasing that campus. I talked with the president about our partnership and that big event. Very delighted to be in the office of Dr. Bill Path from OSU IT today. Dr. Path, thanks for having us, talking about a lot of great things coming up.
Welcome to campus. We're delighted to have you here.
Well, as we get closer and closer to one of the biggest days on the calendar year for OSU IT, Super Saturday, tell us a little bit about this great event and you guys' excitement for it.
Well, that's a good word. We are excited about it. This has become an annual event here on campus. It's part of our history at OSU IT to have a main event on campus where we invite the general public to come out and just explore the university campus here and to get acquainted with the activities that happen on a regular basis on the campus, but also as a community-wide event to learn about the programs and services and businesses that make this such a wonderful home for so many people here in this part of Oklahoma.
Talk about the partnership with the Muskogee Creek Nation from your perspective and what it's been like for you to get to know the tribe, get to know some of the administration, and be at their events, them be at OSU events. It's got to be pleasing for you to be able to work with the nation, with the state agency, so hand in hand as you do.
Well, it's a very seamless relationship that we have. We partner together on so many different projects, share so many different staff and student and personnel that you can scarcely tell where OSU IT ends and the Muskogee Nation begins when we're so closely related with one another. I've been very pleased to develop a relationship with Chief Tiger and to hear his passion for education and how he's promoting education, particularly advanced degrees with the citizens in the Muskogee Nation. And most of my contact has come through the College of Muskogee Nation, working with President Bible and Dr. King and so many others on the staff there. They are doing a remarkable job of building a top-notch tribal college right here in Okmulgee, Oklahoma that will be the rival of any tribal college in the country once they get it up and running. But I'm very pleased that OSU IT has really served as a surrogate institution for them in many ways to help them get on their feet. But they are making great strides each and every day with their new accreditation and the new buildings that are under construction there. There's some exciting things happening.
College of the Muskogee Nation, Muskogee Creek Nation, OSU IT. We can go on and on about the big plants and the multi-employers that we have in this town. It takes all of them working together to make this city thrive and this community really reach its potential. I think you probably recognize that as well.
Well, there's a group in the community working on a regional website right now, and it's so fun to see all the pictures and images coming together of all of the different employers in the community and public service agencies, and recognize that this is a community that we can all be proud of. And to have the signature event on our campus, the Super Saturday event, is just a way to kind of showcase that pride and give us an opportunity to really come out and meet our neighbors and to learn about the things that are happening within our community every day. Super Saturday actually starts Friday night at about 6:30 on campus. There's going to be a dinner for our alumni. It's an opportunity for us to reconnect not only with the community but also with our alumni, those graduates that have made us so proud over the years. And this year's alumni banquet is a special banquet because we're instigating something brand new. It's going to be an alumni hall of fame, and we're going to be inducting up to 5 alumni from the institution, the first class to be inducted into this alumni hall of fame. And it was really tough identifying who is going to be inducted because we've got so many young people who have done remarkable things in their career. So Friday night for the alumni, we do encourage alumni to go online and RSVP if they'd like to attend that event. But Saturday morning, the whole thing kicks off at 8 o'clock. There's a fun run and a 5K run. We've got activities for kids, we've got activities for families. There's presentations all over campus with the open doors and the engineering programs and the visual communication programs, the automotive and truck programs. Everything across campus is open for inspection. The automotive car show is going to be going on campus, so if you're a car buff at all and you like antique Mustangs, this is the place to be on April the 12th. There's going to be a demonstration on campus, a show of all those antique cars. And if you are a country music buff at all, the whole thing culminates at 3 o'clock with a free concert for the general public for an up-and-coming rising star. Dylan Scott is going to be on campus and holding a community concert.
Very good, and I think that may be something new to the Super Saturday lineup this year.
Yes, it
I
is.
don't know if you've had live music for us, so neat, so special, a great day for OSU IT, even better day for Alt-Mulgee and your partners and in this community, making it thrive, making it strong, and being an absolute player when it comes to the community coming together and having something to look forward to. So Super Saturday coming up, so excited about that, and I want to thank you, Dr. Path, for just taking a few moments out of your time today, letting us in the office and being with us on Native News today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And our thanks again to the great people at OSU IT, Dr. Bill Path, for letting us in. And definitely want to remind you folks out there, next Saturday, Super Saturday at OSU IT. Lots of different things, including lots of Muskogee Creek Nation informational booths. Miss Muskogee Creek Nation will be there. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. You don't want to miss it. They're on the campus of OSU IT, right off the loop here in Alt-Mulgee. Moving along, and another example of great partnership of the city of Alt-Mulgee, Muskogee Creek Nation, working together, coming together for a great event. You know, this past week they had Autism Awareness Day and started at City Hall. The head of the city there in Alt-Mulgee, everybody walked on over to the council house. So it was neat to see sort of the city lead off, and then the Muskogee Creek Nation, everybody walk over to the council house, Muskogee Creek Nation holding some comments there and remarks from folks that have been affected by autism. So a very special day. We were so glad to be there to bring you this story about Autism Awareness Day and lighting it up blue.
Wow, I'll tell you, like I cried more when I heard of this happening than I cried when I was diagnosed with cancer. I said, this event bringing us together, it shows that we are coming together as a unit so that we can solve this together and that we can actually bring our resources together so that we can help the parents and actually bring the community aware of this. What that does to me is it softens my heart and it allows me to know that others do care and that others do want to know the information, but if they don't know the information, they don't know where to go, who to talk to, and it's hard. It's a challenge for us parents, grandparents, to actually try to raise a child with autism. There are behavioral issues. There are children that are nonverbal. How do you talk to your child? How do you teach your child? And so that's where all the communities can come together, resources, and we talk about these things. Because when you meet one child with autism, you just met one child, because they're all different.
It really seemed like bringing everybody together, getting outside of Creek Nation boundaries, because even though we're comfortable there, that's our place where we know to be at. As far as just being on the complex, a lot of outsiders still don't feel like that they can go there. That's a place for them. And we wanted to spread that awareness throughout and coordinate with the community as well. So partnering with the city of Alt-Mulgee has been obviously a tremendous asset just in today's, the people that came out today. It's always the goal is to really tell that side of the story. I don't have any personal experience with autism, so really listening to someone else's story and saying how can we relate and how can we help. It's not just listening, but it's like what can we do to make a difference for that family or for that child, and what can we do, again, always to me is always what can we do as a tribe, because that's so important that our citizens, no matter what their diagnosis or what's going on in their lives, that they have a place at the Muskogee Creek Nation and that they feel like they're comforted and they're getting some answers.
Well, as the City of Okmulgee, it's very important that we work with Creek Nation and that we are part of one community. And so when we come together as we're observing Autism Week, and it's important that we work to include all of our citizens, because this is such an important issue, especially to people that have an autistic child. It's very important to them, and they're part of our community. And I think that each and every family in Okmulgee is affected by this condition, and I think that we have to stop and recognize what the issues are and how we can detect this and how we can help those children succeed in life. Because the main thing is that we want them to succeed and have a productive and happy life just like the rest of us have.
And that'll wrap up this week's episode of Native News Today. We certainly want to thank you for joining us. Hope that you've enjoyed the program and all that we've had to offer this week. We've had a lot of things this week that have been sort of big-time newsmakers, whether you talk about Super Saturday and all that entails and all that goes into that for that campus, and also that partnership working together hand in hand with OSU IT and what OSU IT has meant to the College of the Muskogee Nation. It can't be understated. So that's a big thing there, and we're glad to showcase that. And also Autism Awareness Day, something that I think affects all of us. I really do. It's some way, shape, or form. You may know somebody, you may have a relative, and so it's becoming more prevalent, as they said, and almost 1 in 66, 1 in 68, I think now. And so those are things that we're going to have to recognize and deal with. And it's great that the Muskogee Creek Nation and the City of Okmulgee work together to bring more awareness to things like that. And we're so thrilled, and it's our pleasure to be able to bring those things to you, show you that that hard work is making a true difference in the lives of children and those affected. So, and then, as you say, we can't talk about Horseshoe Bend without mentioning how monumental of a trip that was, how historic that was for the Muskogee Creek Nation. I think it says so much about survival and so much about the Muskogee Creek Nation in 2014 that we go and commemorate what was a sad day for the Creek Nation and the Red Sticks, the Upper Creeks, and we look at that removal, and those are all things in our history that they're hard to look back at, but we can look back at them now because we have survived and we are thriving today in 2014. And I think the chief conveyed that in his comments. So great to have all that this week on the program. And if you can't catch us here on CW 1219, we love it when you tune in, but catch us on YouTube, catch us on Facebook, Twitter. We're at Native News Guys, and just search us at Native News Today on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and that'll take you right to our respective sites. So have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next Saturday.